Hey guys, welcome back. I just thought I would do something real quick because I was thinking to myself where some of these other choices are being made, and I realized we've got another choice here. We can choose to alter fate or do nothing. Altering fate took us to our good ending. I don't know why anyone in their right mind would pick do nothing. Hey Rika, would you like everyone to be alive again and happy and everything be okay, or would you like to be the only one who survives and feel miserable about it because you remember everyone dying? Why would anyone choose this? But we're going to choose it for the sake of completion and for padding out the video, and then we'll get to some other stuff the next video. So let's just see where this takes us. Let's get ourselves another ending. I'm surprised you even need to ask, although things remain as they are. I'm surprised that we even need to ask too, but for an entirely different reason. Well said. In that case, all you need to do is forge ahead through your own grief. What a great way to go. I can't deny that it hurts. Yeah, no kidding. That's part of life, though. I would never have come to understand myself if I were alone. Falling in love is what helped me to do so. It's thanks to the time I spent with everyone else that I am who I am now. That's fine. That's how it should be. So please, don't leave me. Farewell, Rinka. Be sure to treasure your roots. Don't let these memories fade. Will that lead us to another good ending or another bad ending? I'm not actually sure. Straight to the credits? Okay, I'm skipping these this time. Oh, we have another new CG, yay. We got our coffee. Not bad. What's not bad? Your blend? I'm sitting on a bench at the park, sipping away at some coffee I've made. I'm making a point to remain here all day. I apparently need to be at this specific place today anyway. That's why I made some coffee for myself. I was given a plastic cup that's used for takeout samples, so I decided to give it a try. I should let Naomi try one out the next time I see her. This place is special to me. Many important things have happened here. It's where I first met Maharu. It's where I spent time with my gran. It's where Naomi said she'd shoulder my burden with me. And it's my final destination. Yeah, it was everyone's final destination, but now no one else is here, just you and Fox McCloud. The place where all 12 of us were supposed to gather. I trust that my choice is the correct one. I mean, I don't know. You kind of screwed over 11 other people with this choice, but alright. My memories of Maharu remain as a result. Today served as the end of divine selection, forever. I still feel that power within me, but like that man said, it's only a matter of time until that fades away. Is there any meaning to the days that happened, but were undone? It's a sudden question that comes to mind, but it's one with an obvious answer. There isn't. All that remains now are my memories of those times. Man, I'm bored. My thoughts are spoken aloud involuntarily. And I cast my gaze up to the great blue sky. Wow, that was quick. Okay, that was worth tacking on. Fatal 12. What ending was this? That's it, literally, Fatal 12. Achievement unlocked, Fatal 12. Lovely. So, alright, we got 4 of the endings. I'm going to do a little bit of poking around to see what the remaining endings are. I almost guarantee one of them is taking Odette's deal. I keep saying that seems obvious, and in retrospect, that certainly seems the case. I'm assuming that other top choice is what happens when we tell Maharu that we don't have an answer for her yet. That we put it off for a little while longer. And then she probably will actually defend herself at the trial. And then we're probably going to find out what's in that diary. I really, really wonder what's going to happen there. Because that seems like it's going to lead to a whole new path. I have no idea what the other bad ending is, though. Assuming, again, these bottom ones... I think these bottom ones are bad endings. Hang on. Fixed Destiny. What's Fixed Destiny? Okay, so Fixed Destiny is bad ending number 4. And the Dream World is just ending number 3. Not even good ending, just ending number 3. So, it looks like the top 3 are good endings and the bottom 4 are bad endings. I feel like a Dream is the true ending. It's certainly more of a true ending than the one we just got, but... Anyway, we will do the last 2 bad endings and then the final good ending next time, and we'll see. We'll save the good for last. We'll save the diary for last, and I'm assuming we'll learn more about Leth too, because it's all but confirmed now that Leth is the effeminate dude. It was a joke at first, then it was a suspicion, then the game kind of casually confirmed it, and now I feel like it's just a given.
NANI?!
Hey, so what do we got going on here? So I was about to restart the game. I just needed to get back to the Odette choice so we could see how that played out. Literally just hit start, and all of a sudden I got an achievement about an encounter. An achievement about an encounter? And this text popped up. Maybe it's all because she has bad feelings about things. This is literally the first thing I see as I start the game. I'm pretty sure when you start the game, you don't even go to this scene. You get a little intro dialogue about fate and stuff with this, you know, passing images of gears in the back and stuff before you get back to the scene. But now I'm just here. Is this a literal chance encounter? Maybe it's all because she has bad feelings about things. Her gut feelings have been on the mark more often than not, unfortunately. They've been far more reliable than that fortune-telling app on her phone. What's happening? Why is Mao here? Why is Mao here? What the hell is going on? I just immediately had to start recording. What's happening? What's going on? Not the best start to today. Something bad is going to happen today. What is this? Is Mao going to see something? Is this going to elaborate? Is this something that we wouldn't have seen until we'd gotten some endings or something? Perhaps that's the reason why. The reason why Mao finds herself reflecting on the past. She thinks back to when she and Maharu first met. Oh, interesting. Okay, this is just here. I'm pretty sure all I did was hit start. It was spring, 1 week after Mao had entered her second year of middle school. With a new year came a new class, one that she still hadn't gotten used to. She had no issue interacting with anyone who talked to her, and didn't find herself being ignored if she tried to engage others. She never hung out with any of them after school or had lunch with them, though. It wasn't particularly unusual at that stage of one's life. Mao had already accepted that she didn't mind being alone, though. Who the hell is this? Oh, this is younger Mao. This is before she dyed her hair. This is the girl I saw in the achievement where I was like, who the hell is this? It's before Mao. All right. So boring. They'd all participate in class the same way. They'd all wear the same things based on whatever they saw in magazines. They'd all eat the same things based on places they saw on TV. Mao found herself bored to death by the groupthink that surrounded her. Yeah, we've heard about this. Why didn't they prioritize things they were personally invested in? She had her reasons for thinking this way. Nobody wanted to make their personal interests known. They were afraid of being different. That truth annoyed Mao. Perhaps she even hated them for it. She made it a point not to use social media either. Only superficial thoughts and trivial woes got posted on there. Facts. None of it mattered to her. Instead, Mao looked toward the future, toward the day she would finally enter high school. She would be able to get a job then, allowing her to interact with those outside her school. There were bound to be people she didn't dislike out there. That's what she believed. Well, now she's in high school, right? This is her first year. Ugh. Another day of coming to and leaving school on her own. That was the plan, but some of her classmates prevented that ideal scenario of hers from taking place. It was a trio who found themselves in the upper echelon of the class's ranks due to their looks. That sounds like Maharu might be one of them, but I also kind of doubt that because she was ostracized too. Are we going to get more sprites? Nope, guess not. Hey, do you know Maharu? They were in the same class, so of course Mao knew of her existence. Mishima Maharu. She was attending Amaka on a scholarship. Her mature looks were enough to catch the eyes of the entertainment business, leading to her being scouted a number of times. When did that happen? Mao could tell what was coming next based on the question and their expressions. Doesn't she piss you off? I knew it. Yeah, they want to try to bully her. They looked shocked by our explanation, but Mao told them not to read into it. The situation at hand was a simple one. Maharu's presence annoyed the trio, thus they wanted the rest of the class to ignore her as a result. Mao was almost impressed by their ability to say that, despite there being an adult present in the room. Leave me out of it. Giving a neutral response was Mao's way of handling such situations. She wouldn't take part, but she wouldn't get in their way. She would simply keep a safe distance. Cold as ever, huh? Not like you ever talked to in the first place, though, so I guess that's fine. After saying that, they gave up on their attempt to drag her in. They were right, though. Mao never once approached or had been approached by Maharu. Things would work out the way they wanted without her having to do anything. Cold, huh? It served as a lesson about how her classmates viewed her. Her refusal to go along with their proposition meant she was cold. Mao figured that they would have been willing to let her into their special circle had she accepted. But at the same time, she couldn't understand why they held their own status in such a high esteem. They weren't anyone special, just members of an irrelevant class at an irrelevant school in an irrelevant city. Talk about pathetic. Mao rested her chin on her hands, clearly awestruck by their attitude. At that moment, a thought came to her. Just what sort of person was Mishima Maharu anyway? She must be different if her classmates were trying to get everyone to ignore her. Perhaps it was a bit too early to seek company outside of school. That made her take immediate action. Hey, want to eat lunch on the roof together? Mao walked right over to Maharu's seat and invited her. Her classmates looked on in shock, but she made it a point to ignore them. That only led to them receiving more attention, however. And what would I stand to gain from doing so? Sounds like nothing to me. Maharu actually looks mildly younger, and I think her hair is a slightly different tone, too. If that is the case, I appreciate the artist putting in a slight bit of effort to make her look ever so slightly younger, because that was probably completely unnecessary. Maharu's gaze remained focused on her textbook. Her tone was composed yet firm. Mao's thought process shut down for a moment, causing her face to burn a bright red. Out of all the possible outcomes, she never expected that to happen. She returned to her seat as the rest of the class giggled at her expense. They weren't the only ones, though. Mao was smiling too. Perfect. She'd faced a situation that she failed to anticipate. That interested her greatly. Probably would. How long does this go? This is just... I hit start and we're suddenly here. Aguma Mao had all the prospects in the world during her elementary school days. She got full marks on every exam she took. As a result, her parents sent her to cram school to see how far she could go. She was recommended to take the entrance exams for middle school almost immediately. The Aguma family was financially stable. Those around Mao told her to study hard, and so she did. She had the potential to enter some of the best schools in the country. Her parents truly believed this. Much like most children would realize, though, days spent studying came at the cost of other activities. That realization served as the trigger. Mao began to put off studying, were she to be invited out by friends, or if there was something she wanted to watch on TV. She learned how to say no to things she didn't want to do. Her perception of others changed as a result. Why do people keep doing things they don't want to? Mao was able to enter Amica despite her new point of view. Her parents and cram school teachers did not rejoice, though. This was a step down compared to what she was capable of. An odd reaction, considering there were very few schools that stood above Amica. It would be some time until she came to understand that those expectations were no different from placing a burden on her, though. In that sense, her attitude was mostly in line with the rebellious attitude of most teens. Got a sec? Mao approached Maharu on the way home. Her response to being asked to ignore Maharu may have been cold, but Mao wasn't like that with everyone. She had little issue engaging in small talk with others. That's why she found Maharu's previous reactions so interesting. Being considered annoying or hated didn't matter. All she wanted to do was to get to know Maharu better. Sorry, but I don't. I'm in a bit of a hurry right now. A response that Mao more or less expected. She didn't push, though, opting instead to laugh and watch as Maharu walked off. A few days later, their relationship had made no progress whatsoever. Mao struggled to judge the right way to interact with others at this point in her life. That's why she simply pressed on with talking to Maharu at any given moment. Maharu continued to give her the cold shoulder in response. But a certain question came to Mao over the last few days. Why doesn't she ignore me completely? Ignoring someone who's annoying seemed like the appropriate course of action to Mao. Now she had to know why she wasn't being ignored. A certain rumor had begun to spread around that time. It was that Maharu had been slitting her wrists. Self-harm wasn't all too rare among middle school students at an all-girls school, judging by statistics alone. Mao herself had read that 1 in 11 committed it. However, it was a rarity in Amaka. While technically a good thing, it worked against Maharu, especially due to the envy others held toward her. It allowed the rumor to spread like wildfire by nature of it exposing a failing of hers. Those who had originally asked Mao to ignore Maharu approached her once more. Hey, how come Maharu's always wearing clothes with long sleeves? I heard she's slitting her wrists. Gross! Talk about seeking attention. What a freak. Mao wasted no time in making her opinion known. What makes you say that? It was an earnest question. She couldn't understand what made them say these things. She may have come to realize why they referred to Maharu as a freak eventually. But at that moment in time, she honestly didn't understand. It's her body. Can't she do what she wants with it? There wasn't a hint of displeasure in her tone. Her classmates reacted with absolute shock. The conversation went no further. The girls walked off, claiming that Mao was weird. The entire situation meant nothing to Mao. The following day, Maharu stomped her way over to Mao as she made her way into school. It was an unusual scenario for Mao. Hello. This marked the first time Maharu had ever approached Mao after all. A new idea seems to be floating about. They want people to start ignoring you. They even asked me to join in. The original plan was for everyone to ignore Maharu, but she never spoke to anyone in the first place. As such, the plan would serve no purpose. Mao's refusal to align with them yesterday resulted in her being their new target, though. Mao was never good friends with them in the first place, but she also didn't try to build a wall between herself and them like Maharu. She had the gall to defy us, so let's make her pay. Their thought process was clear as day. Maharu may have put a wall between them whenever Mao approached her, but she never ignored her either. They must have thought it would be thrilling to see Mao's reaction to being ignored out of nowhere. So I ignored them instead. The look on their faces when I did was quite something. After finishing her statement, Maharu made her way into class. An unusual feeling sprouted within Mao upon seeing Maharu's almost gallant figure. Well, I guess this is how they got to know each other. Once in class and seated, the usual suspects approached her once more. Of course they did. So you'll never believe what I heard about Maharu. That's how the conversation began. Mao couldn't help but be impressed by their ability to approach her right away after suggesting to others that they ignore her. There's an away missing there. Not that they would admit that to her, of course. How convenient that they only mentioned how Maharu ignored them. They were clearly frustrated over it. Simply ignoring Maharu wasn't enough now. They wanted to bully her. Whatever, I don't care. Unable to bear it any longer, Mao raised her arms and shouted her thoughts. Needless to say, her classmates were taken aback. Listen up, don't bug me with this stuff. If you want to ignore me, go ahead. Just stop dragging me into your games. She gave them a taunting wink when she finished. They were less than pleased with this, to the point where they walked off without another word. Boy, that felt good. She stretched her arms and proceeded to spend her day as usual. Hopefully one of these girls doesn't get beat up or something by the bullies. It looks like they're about to actually hang out together. It took a bit more time following that for Mao and Maharu to start having lunch together. Nothing special happened during that time. They became closer by nature of the attitude shown to them by the rest of the class. As for the usual suspects, one was kicked out of the group after her secret social network account was exposed. Another group took advantage of that and forced themselves to the uppermost echelon. That led to a number of changes in the classroom landscape. School politics. To hell with all of it. The rest of the class, who once feared becoming a target of their bullying, soon stopped caring altogether. Mao once again became a person who most people could approach, while most stayed away from Maharu. In other words, things returned to normal. One thing had changed, however. Mao and Maharu had gone from strangers to friends. Hey, Mao. What's up, Maharu? We don't need to pretend that we like things, do we? That's how I feel about it. Mao responded and let out a sigh. Then she picked up her aubergine with her chopsticks and shoved it in Maharu's mouth. I'm not sure I'm saying that right. Aubergines? I think it's aubergines. I don't like aubergines, so I ain't gonna pretend like I do. You're unbelievable. Maharu let out a sigh herself. Knowing she couldn't just spill it out, she proceeded to force the aubergine down. Both of them came to enjoy the dry atmosphere of the rooftop. Is that it? We fade to white? Oh, that sure takes me back. And then you just dyed your hair out of rebellion? Mao talks to herself mid-yawn. And that's the story of how she met Maharu. She begins to think back to her first meeting with Rinka, but she quickly stops herself because we don't have time in this video. People get nostalgic about events like these when something significant has or is about to happen. She would much prefer her gut feeling to be wrong. Let's just hope it's a pop quiz or something, if anything actually happens today. Wishing for the best, she makes her way to the train station. And we get the slow fade to black. Wait a minute, do we get... what? Oh, this is the opening we should have gotten. Yeah, this is what usually happens, right? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and boost my way to Odette's choice. And we'll pick it up from there. Yes. Yes, it is.
A few moments later.
I can't see her anymore. Is something the matter? Don't tell me you actually did get hurt. Wait, he? Wasn't that a girl? Was it? You may be right considering how pretty she was, which means I've been doubly rude. This is when Naomi crashed into you at the beginning. Now I'm starting to think that was a boy too. Wait, haven't we had this discussion before? This is a comment that gets made halfway through the game. Now we're having it at the beginning of the game. Interesting. I follow up with the stereotypical no, never mind, to imply its unimportance before continuing. I was just curious is all. It's not often you see someone so young traveling by themselves. Is that it? Part of me feels like I've met that person before, too. Do you think it could just be deja vu? Plenty of tourists make use of this line, so it wouldn't be surprising if you've had a similar conversation before. Now that you mention it, I might have had one with Maharu or Mao. They're both in the same grade as me, and they also know Naomi. Oh! The text is going faster now. I think it goes faster when you've seen it already. Okay, maybe that was just a nothing, but it was there. It's worth noticing. Moving on.
3 hours later.
So basically, this is back when we were dealing with you, and at the time, we told Odette to go stuff it, and that she was going to help us stop you, instead of us helping her in exchange for our info, which is a terrible deal. Let's get through to that choice. Eliminate him to save our classmates. Just don't forget that we're making a deal, by the way. I want your cards in exchange for this. Both your cause of debt, and regret. Not your debt. I don't want your debt. I want them the moment you get use info, too. In other words, both you and him get eliminated during the same election. Again, horrible deal. Why would we take this? I guarantee it won't affect your dead friend either. She'll be safe even after elimination. Fate will run its original course with both myself and you eliminated. It makes sense. My elimination would result in Naomi witnessing my death. That's how things went originally. Odette probably doesn't know that much, but her words hit me hard. So what'll it be? Get with me and guarantee that you save your friend's life, or try to pull through on your own? Well, last time we decided this was a horrible deal, and it is. But this is our first bad end if we accept her conditions, which we now shall. And this may go for a while. We may end up going through a whole thing with you still. And maybe nothing changes except this time we sacrifice our cards, because this is a long segment. So let's see how long this bad end goes. Maybe it cuts us off right away. Maybe we have a whole video out of this. We'll see. I can save Naomi by doing what Odette says. It's all but guaranteed to work. As it turns out, it doesn't. Naomi, it's all for Naomi. Her smiling face pops into my head. I'm fine with being eliminated if it means I can save her. I gave my life in order to save her in the first place. There's no reason for me to hesitate. I'll keep my end of the bargain. You just make sure you keep yours as well. Heh, is that so? Can't say for sure whether or not this was the best option for you, but I don't really care. Oh, it absolutely wasn't. Just leave things to me, kid. As it happens, I've been looking for an excuse to go wild. This sounds very final. Are we just going straight to the bad ending? I've made my decision, but I haven't been quite able to calm myself down. Odette wants to take me along to her base of operations so we can start to make our preparations. Yeah, again, this could take a while. She says it'll take about 2 hours by car to get there. I may cut out the extraneous stuff. She's apparently got one ready for us. It goes without saying that it can't be traced back to her either. I'm exhausted. Hard not to be after everything that's happened today. In an ideal world, I'd get to dive into bed, but I don't have that luxury right now. We'll both be up at night, all night, once we get to wherever she's taking me. We have plenty of planning to do. Honestly, it's amazing how far from reality this all feels. My mind flashes back to my exchange with Odette as I pack a change of clothes and my phone charger. Let's just skip ahead to see what kind of new dialogue there is. Oh! Is my decision really the correct one? I think the text goes slower when it's something I haven't seen yet. I can't help but ask myself over and over. It's all for Naomi. It's all for her sake. I'm making a point to repeat that to myself instead. My own elimination is imminent, but I won't think about that until the time comes. As usual, putting a lid on my thoughts is the best option. One small and important thing is different this time around, though. No matter what, I'll... You done yet? Odette shouts up at me from downstairs. She must be tired of waiting. Telling her I'll be right down, I'll make my way toward the stairs. And the next unread piece of dialogue.
75 years later.
I still haven't thought about what to do once I accomplish this. Granted, my elimination by that point is already a given, so we're acknowledging our elimination every now and then. That's different, but that's probably about it. I should have said my goodbyes to Maharu, but that won't be possible anymore. Yeah, you're eliminated. She should be able to figure out what's going on at the very least. I turn to face Alan. And zip over to the next piece of just unread dialogue so far.
10 seconds later.
It's funny, now I get to this point. We've apparently gotten to the point where obviously the tower plan didn't work. My thoughts lead me to the most logical conclusion. Let me handle this alone. Okay, if I'm handling this alone, surely the deal with Odette is off, right? I know I'm still heading to the bad ending, but I can't understand the logic. What? I'm going to settle things with fate myself. Did something come to mind? I look at Alan in the eyes and nod firmly. It's obviously they'll say no to me. I can't explain my reasoning, though. They got to hold too much of my information if I do. Does it matter? You've already agreed to let Odette eliminate you. Actually, they'll probably come along even if I give them a vague explanation. There's no guarantee I'm right. Let's see if Odette acknowledges that we still owe her our cards, even if we do things our way, which is bullcrap, by the way. I won't be able to reach the answer I'm looking for if I do this on my own. They agree. Well, you sure have gotten snide, haven't you? The text is still speedy. Alright, here we go. Hold up, kid. Ah, I knew it. Odette was gonna be like, wait a second. A menacing voice stops me right as I'm ready to leave. Odette is addressing me in a completely different manner than before. I know why, too. Don't worry. I know. There's no need for us to mince words. I tell her the contents of my cards. Really? Really? Why? There's no reason for this now. Settling the score with fate includes my doing so, after all. Odette didn't do jack. Really? Well, that's that then. Let's look forward to the election. Yay.
2,000 years later.
There's no reason for me to hesitate. My fate's already been sealed. We're voting up you, but we're getting voted up ourselves. Today is my last day. I'll do whatever I need to and perish. It's somewhat ironic, though. It's the exact mindset you believed to represent a hero. Mihiro's going to hear about this for the first time. She's not going to be happy. I'm going to elect someone. Ha! Well then. I straighten my back to regain my posture. Let's go through this, because I don't want to keep bouncing around. This is the do or die time. I mean, everything else basically ran exactly the same, but my eyes fall directly on you following that. I wonder if something's going to happen about our dialogue when voting him out, too. He still has the same gentle expression from before. It's the same expression from back when he first ate the dinner I made for him. Even so, I elect numeral 4. I have to utter those words no matter what. This is actually the first time she's voted out someone. We're obviously going back in time here. Very well. Parker proceeds to question the other participants. Oh, we're going straight to Odette. So, yeah, no one else did vote on anyone during this time. Guess it's my turn now. Odette makes her intent loud and clear when her turn comes around. What's this? Oh, yeah, Maharu. We didn't really get a reaction from Maharu when Scale voted us out. But now... Go ahead, numeral 11. Yeah, so I'll be electing numeral 1. Odette doesn't look terribly happy about this, but Maharu's going to be even less happy. I nod my head in silence. I'm scared, in all honesty. Once I eliminate you, it'll be my turn. I know I've accepted the inevitability already, but it doesn't stop me from being scared. Mainly because it involves returning to the flames that sleep deep within my memory. Wait a minute! What's going on here, Rika? Why are you being elected? Yeah, Maharu is gonna freak the F out. Sorry for keeping this from you, Maharu. I utter Maharu's name within the court of fate. But she did reveal it previously, so I think it should be fine. Yeah, I was about to say, doesn't everyone know this already? Please don't apologize. I'm leaving the rest to you. Wait a minute! Why is this happening? Reverse the decision, please, I'm begging you! Yeah, I don't think we've seen that face on Maharu yet. She's not a happy camper. Is that even possible to do, Parka? Unfortunately not. Numeral 1's election has already been processed. So there you have it. Not like I'd take it back anyway. Your friend accepted this on her own. She's right, Maharu. You understand what that means, don't you? I do everything I can to stop my emotions from bursting out. It'll only make things harder for Maharu if I break down now. I made this decision for myself. It's the only way I can bring Naomi back. You can't! You can't honestly think I'll accept this! Take care of Naomi, will you? I'm not too sure how things were between you two, but please be a good friend to her, alright? As for Mao, I guess I don't need to worry. It's obvious that you know her way better than I do. Reika, this can't be happening! Parka, do something about this, please! Parka ignores her plight, instead moving on to question Alan as to whether or not he will elect anyone. Parka just gives no craps. You three, try and get along, okay? Maharu doesn't give me a proper answer. With that decided, tonight will be numeral 1 and numeral 4, followed by numeral 11 and numeral 1. Thus, allow me to begin the election procedure. You know, I was talking before about how order mattered if someone was both elector and electee. I guess it's funny that it's now coming up in a bad ending. I didn't actually see that coming. I thought it was just, when is this rule coming up? Everyone's dead. It's like, not in certain timelines. My platform begins to move in tandem with her statement. Yu's platform does the same. Reika! 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 Maharu's voice gradually fades into the distance.
Later.
You got elected as well, huh? Well, that dialogue is new. It wasn't the only way I could bring her back. I won't apologize. It's your fault for not electing me when you had the chance. I'm kind of with you on this one. Well, could we have? I guess we couldn't have if his regret card exploded. I guess we would have voted him up before Shigetsugu, so that would have worked if we had done the vote at the same time. But this is 2 weeks later. We couldn't have voted him out last week because he didn't have his regret card. I'd be mad if you did, after my struggle to find the resolve to elect you. Good evening once again, my dears. You're both gonna die tonight. Parka's voice rings out of nowhere. I didn't even notice her arrival. It's like she just appeared out of thin air. She has a big smirk on her face. A shit-eating grin on this witch. Oh my! What irony tonight brings. What? Oh, pain in me no mind. Do begin. The process is quite simple, you'll find. Are we just... Oh! We're just gone? We're just zipping right through it, eh? I guess we got our own election to worry about today. This time. I pick out and announce use 3 cards, just as she instructs me to. I honestly don't feel much as I do so. I mean, the same process is going to happen to me right after. But we're going to burn. Yep, we get this scene again. Flames envelop me. Speedy text. This is a sight I recognize. It's almost the exact same scenery I witnessed when I died, after all. My line of sight is much lower than usual, though. That's when I realized it. This was from Yu's perspective. He was sitting down after having crushed my throat. I'm human! I am! His lungs had lost their function. Apparently not. His skin was charred. His very cells had been obliterated. No, he's got a few cells left. I can see him. And now I'm a hero. His words fell on deaf ears. This is how it should be. As much as he tried to breathe, his blood refused to carry the oxygen. Not like the air could even reach his lungs at this point. Right, Mama? It was doubtful that he could even speak properly at this point. That wasn't a concern of his, though. He just did everything he could to speak his last words. He did it to convince himself. To reassert himself. It's not... But that effect didn't last for long. I don't want to die. His lungs were shot. He couldn't speak anymore. He lamented. But it's too late now, buddy. He unleashed one final scream, marred with regret and repentance. His vision was dyed red following that. Adios, my turn. Those were Yu's final moments, weren't they? And now Odette's going to get to see yours. Yu had already disappeared by this point. Do wait right there, my dear. Yeah, just sit tight. I have to go get someone. Parker wastes no time in addressing me. Not long after, Odette appears across from me. Yo, that friend of yours sure gave me a verbal beatdown. She gonna be okay after you're gone? No, probably not. Yeah, again, this is the first time we've had a voter and a votee be one and the same. Technically, we had a bad end where Scale voted us out and then Alan voted out Scale, but we didn't really get to see that. Surprisingly kind, aren't we? You don't need to worry. Maharu's strong. She won't lose to the likes of you. You think? Whatever. Can we get started already? Understood. Odette opens up her card book before Parker responds. She picks out 3 cards. Her name's Shishimai Rinka. She died from suffocation. I was prepared for the possibility of you having all my cards, but I guess that ain't the case. That would be one of the methods to prevent your own elimination. Again, we still haven't seen that firsthand. Maharu better do that when we get back to that apparently true ending. I'm a lot more calm up here than down below, though. Memories of my death surface. That's right, I'm already dead. That's why I feel so calm right now. At the very least, my death this time around will be for Naomi's sake. Interestingly enough, this is only the second time we've seen this graphic. For all Odette's talk and bluster, she's only voted out one other person, which is Rogue. I wonder if this is how Maharu felt. If so, this isn't right. I'm calm, but I can't stop crying. Christ, you're making this tough. Your regrets are regular life. I guess that's just like you, huh? Odette tuts before announcing my regret. Sorry, Naomi, Mao, Maharu. My fate's been sealed. I'm gonna die. I'm sorry, Gran. Forgive me for going out like this. I've simply been avoiding the truth all this time. There has never been any way I could accept my own death. I've just done everything possible to keep my mind off it. I can't hold my emotions back any longer. That's fine, though. This is it for me. It was good while it lasted, kid. You kept me entertained for a bit. This is the end. Bad ending achieved. There we go. We'll see if we get anything after this, but I think we'll get both bad endings. It's going to be tough to judge the time, because I'm going to be editing out some stuff, but we should be able to fill an episode. It's really going to be hard to judge, because I have no idea what this other bad ending is going to be. All right, let's skip ahead. What do we got? Anything? Here we go. All right. I find myself here all alone. Are we Maharu? Did we win? What happens at the end? Are we Parka again? I don't think the game would tell us that on an early bad end. I don't think it would spoil that. Here at the final destination that Parka spoke of. There really is no point to a world without Rinka. Divine selection. Did we win? Last night served as the end to those hellish days for me. I was ready to give up the very moment Rinka was eliminated. But she didn't allow me to do that. She wanted to ensure that Mao and Naomi wouldn't lose us both. And I'm not one to break a promise with the person I love. so I survived until the end. I'd like to know how I managed that feat could be a story for another time. No, I want to hear that story. As a result, Parker resides within me once again. So is this just non-spoiler territory, or can she not take someone over unless it's someone of Rinka's bloodline? I guess we'll find out. The true ending will be where that gets discovered. It must feel good for her. This place really is nice. I wish I could have come here with you. A clock tower stands tall in the distance. Rinka seems to have been fond of this place. I once desired to come here with her, but that's no more than a distant dream now. If possible, I would become the goddess herself in an attempt to alter fate. To create a world in which Rinka never died. I was going to say it would be nice to do that, but no, that was Rinka's thing. Because she was born under such special circumstances. Yo, Maharun! I hear Mao shouting over to me. She's the one and only person I can call a friend, now that Rinka's gone. The time I was able to spend with her had dwindled down due to my efforts in divine selection. It marks today as the first time in a while we've been able to spend time together. It's been ages since we hung out together, hasn't it? Yeah. Mao stares off into the distance as she replies. The scars left in our hearts through Rinka's death will never heal. She was just too important to us. We can still imagine her being there with us, wherever we go. Is Naomi going to pop up beside us? She isn't quite on our level, because she's our underclassman, but, she was kind of the fourth. It's something I've come to accept. Just being able to see her is enough for me, even if it's only an illusion. Where's the illusion? Is her force ghost going to appear on the right? None of the issues I've been facing since before divine selection have been resolved. My excellence is something I've never been proud of. That being said, it was an essential factor in my survival within divine selection. Man, you're the two-time champion. You should get a belt or something. My life goes on, even if I'm alone. Shouldn't be too long now. Ah, here she is. Neorin! I knew it. There she is in her cute green top. Is that a new outfit? Sorry for the... Well, you're gonna fall over. Thud. Along comes Naomi, my junior. She trips over herself so often that sometimes I think she's doing that on purpose. She pulls herself back to her feet with a flushed face. Rinka had one final wish before her elimination. She wanted the three of us to get along. Let's get going, Naomi. Okay. Wait. Were you always this friendly toward me? Our friendship has only just begun. That's right. Huh? There's no need for us to be so formal anymore. Oh, quite the change, Maharun. Did something special happen? Not really. I realize that nothing changes unless I take the initiative myself is all. Okay then, let's go, Maharun. This is my first step toward fulfilling Rinka's wish. If Rinka herself is gone, then the least I can do is ensure that the traces of her desire remain. Perhaps by doing so, with time, I can sort out my own feelings. That may lead the fog in my heart to clear up. Life would have been easy had I always thought like that. And that'll be the bad end for granting her wish. I wondered if there were endings where Rinka wasn't the survivor. I guess that's the first one. Well, no, I guess the first bad ending we got would have been the first one, because it would have been who? Maharu, Federico, and Alan were the remaining three, and we just didn't get further than that. But here, Maharu wins, but she doesn't get taken over. She doesn't get possessed. She just gets to be the vessel again. So let's go do ending. Bad ending number 2. Let's hit the fast forward again.
So much later that the old narrator got tired of waiting and they had to hire a new one.
Well, we're back in our bedroom after the whole vessel talk. And Maharu had a bit of an info dump, but she hasn't dumped everything. We don't know about the parents and stuff because we haven't done the confession. We're having a shower, we're getting ready to go to bed, but Maharu, my mind jumps to Maharu immediately after, however. More specifically, that expression of hers as she left. As for me, you know what? Last time we got in touch with her to see how she was, I guess we dodged a bullet, because I was kind of contemplating to leave her be for now. This is bad end number 2. How that works, I have absolutely no freaking clue. We're obviously going to skip Maharu's confession if this is the case. I have no idea where this leads. Let's see what happens. I guess I shouldn't bother her right now. Chances are she wants some time to herself. How does this lead to a bad ending? Do we lose Maharu? This is the week where we vote out Scale. Does he vote out... I guess he can't vote out her because that got negated last time. Especially on a day where she just revealed secrets she's been keeping for so long. In that case, I plug my phone into the charger by my pillow before lying down. Ah, jeez. Unable to hold my frustration back, I grab my phone and call... Oh! Okay. But her line's busy. Well, butts. I'm unable to get a hold of her after that, nor does she try to call me back. Uh-oh. Did someone call her and make a deal or something, and we prevented that by contacting her first last time? What's going on here? Are we going to get a... I think we're on a wildly different track now. Friday. Today rolls around without any progress in regards to the Court of Fate as well as information regarding the remaining participants. Because of course it doesn't. I haven't been able to get in contact with Maharu since Tuesday night either. That's the night we were just on, if I'm not mistaken. She hasn't been at school, and none of the teachers have anything to say other than she's off sick. You been in touch with Maharu at all, Rinny? Looks like Mao hasn't had much luck either. What happened? That alone is proof that something's up. Yeah, what's up? There's nothing I can do, though. I just spend my days worrying about her. Uh-oh. Are we going to election? Something's gonna... Yeah! Divine Selection is tonight. Okay, well, whatever the bad ending is, we're gonna hit it pretty quick. Weird. Divine Selection is tonight. That thought is just depressing to me now. I'd hoped to make some progress, but I've ended up doing the exact opposite. I'll need to put more effort in next week. Oh, will you now? Are you getting elected out tonight? For now, I'll focus on sleep and pray that next week actually comes. Was Scale maybe able to make some deals by talking to Maharu first? Because we know this was the week that Scale was getting very frustrated because he couldn't make headway with Federico, and then he talked to Alan and talked about the vessel bit, but then the regret card exploded and Rinka turned him down. We didn't even talk to Scale this week. I don't think we would have glossed over that. For now, I'll focus on sleep and pray that next week actually comes. It may not. This should be interesting. What's the new election? Good evening, my lovely little slaves to fate. I take a look around the Court of Fate. Only 5 participants remain, and my words are coming very quickly now. Numeral 1, myself. Numeral 2, Maharu. Numeral 3, Federico. Numeral 9, Scale. Numeral 11, or 12, Alan. Now this is the time when Scale would have been freaking the F out. He should still be freaking the F out, because we still have his cards. It has certainly gotten rather lonely in here, hasn't it? And I bet it makes you feel all tingly inside. Goodness, how very rude. I'll have you know that the loss of people to converse with has me quite upset. Hey, goddess, yeah, this, again, Alan knows about the vessel bit, and so does everyone except Federico. Another rude person I see. What is it that you want? Spare me your dramatic nonsense. Is it true that whoever survives will become your vessel? Oh? Alan fires a blunt question at her. He must have heard about it from Scale. I doubt Scale would give that info away for free, though, so they must have exchanged information. Parka averts her eyes from Alan for a moment. Not just for fun, though. It looks like she wants to examine Maharu's expression. That answers my question. You may feel free to reveal your information to someone and have them eliminate you, should that not be to your liking. Again, I don't give a damn. I just wanted to confirm the truth. The final participant will still be able to live on once all is said and done, correct? That is correct. That's fine, then. And thus begin this week's round of Divine Selection. Why was that text slow? Allow me to begin tonight's selection. Federico didn't speak up. Last time he spoke up and And I thought Scale was freaking out. Revolve, O clock of fate. How will this play out? With the small talk over, Parka signals for the gigantic clock hand to revolve. The tone of her voice sounds colder than usual. Are we still voting out Scale? I have a bad feeling about this. Yeah, no kidding. Will you be electing anyone, numero 1? I shake my what? What is wrong with you? You should, of course you should elect Scale. What is your damage, woman? I'm still unsure whether or not I should elect Scale. Why are you unsure? I haven't properly explained that we could all elect and protect ourselves yet. I mean, you haven't had that talk, but I thought you made a resolution. I haven't talked things through with Maharu either. Well, that's fair. Speaking of Maharu, she has her head down, a gloomy expression on her face. What is it? Something must have happened. I couldn't get in contact with her, though, and I got chased away at the door when I tried to visit her. It hurts, but there's nothing I can do. Well, it's about to hurt more, I suspect. Numeral 2? I figured she won't elect anyone. Nope, she will. What? Oh, what? I'm sorry? What convinced you to do that? I mean, she couldn't confess to us. We know that. No confession could be made. But still, she wanted to give our lives to let us survive. Maharu is electing Rinka? I elect numeral 1? How did this come about? Oh, me oh my. Huh? Yeah, Rinka. Pardon me. The shock almost made me forget my position. Very well, now then. No, not now then. There needs to be a discussion here. I'm unable to parse anything else after that. My mind has gone completely blank. What led to this? My emotions soon follow. And then the platform I stand on begins to rise. Is this literally the only election? I mean, last time the only election was us eliminating Scale. That now no longer happens. This is the only election? The only thing that awaits me now is death. Maharu! What on earth? Boy, this is going to be awkward. Oh, don't you hit me with the credits. No, we're skipping. 2 months. Yeah, yeah, hang on. I need answers. 2 months ago on May 3rd. On that day, Mao lost her 2 best friends at the same time. What is this? But we're not going to get an explanation? So Maharu eliminated Rinka and then Maharu didn't make it, which is why Mao lost her 2 best friends at the same time? They both met their end at different places. Shishimai Rinka was caught in a terrorist attack while riding the train. Her attempt to save her junior, Hitsuji Naomi, resulted in her death. Mishima Maharu committed suicide in her own bedroom. She slit her wrists and then took several sleeping pills. Okay, well, now we know the specifics about that, not that we needed them. You two have left me all alone. She whispers to herself in front of her friend's house. I mean, Naomi is technically still there, but Naomi was never part of the... She was still kind of the outsider because she was the junior. The other 3 were classmates. Rinka's grandmother had a relative to take care of, leading her to return to the countryside following Rinka's funeral. Lionhouse is closed down for good as a result. Oh, that's a shame. Where's Leth? However, she seems to have been unable to part with the house, by nature of all the memories it contains. Mao understands all too well how she feels. Rennie always went on about how this place was everyone's second home. It can't be a good home if no one lives there anymore, though. No one is around to hear her. I don't know, you've got room on the right for someone. Who won? I'm curious who won. We promised we'd go to the theme park together. A promise that will never be kept. Mao hasn't spoken with Naomi since Rinka's funeral. It just feels too awkward. Oh, that's a shame. I get that I need to move on. I do. The sight of Lionhouse stirs up her memories. Funny how you can dream of things you'll never do. She dreamt about them all going to the theme park together. About drinking coffee made by Rinka at Naomi's class during the culture festival. About putting way too much milk and sugar in the coffee. Oh yeah, Mao used to just fill her cup with milk and sugar and a little bit of coffee. About eating lunch with Rinka and Maharu up on the school roof. All scenarios that can no longer happen, and yet ones she sees unfold in her dreams often. Ones that felt so real they can be mistaken for actual memories. Goes to show just how much of a mess I am. Mao spends around half an hour in front of Lionhouse following that. Just as she sets her mind on leaving, she bumps into a man walking in the opposite direction from her. Oh, is it going to be the winner? Please don't be Federico. At least be Alan or something. He probably didn't notice her moving due to his height. Yep. Oh, sorry. Oh, it is Federico. Sorry about that. Hopefully I didn't bump into your lovely face. Huh? No, I'm fine. Mao makes her displeasure apparent and assumes that he's hitting on her. He's a foreigner. He spoke in Japanese to her, albeit brokenly, so she figures he either lives here or is a tourist who's gotten used to the country. Oh, this is the place. Damn. She lived pretty close to the final destination. Federico won? Seriously? Wait, did you know Rini? Rini? Oh, you mean Shishima Rinka. Sure, I knew her. My buddy was pretty fond of her. How did they know each other exactly? I take it from you're the same school as Maharu. You knew Maharu too? I guess. Do you mind telling me about both of them? If there are sides to them that I don't know, that I want to learn about them. Ah, you were buzzed with them, weren't you? Mao shows a rare hint of desperation. She wants to make as much of their existence a part of her as she can, even more so if it involves details of which she's unaware. Even if it results in an outburst of tears while thinking about them. We weren't just buddies, we were best friends. How much can I say, really? Oh well. Guess it can't hurt to spill all the beans now that it's over. It's over? You won. Federico won. Federico was finally not a loser. I gotta be at the national park or whatever it's called, though. Mind if we talk there? Pretty weird timing you start hitting on me, dude. That ain't what I'm doing. Besides, you ain't my type. Man, you're the worst. Boy, there's a CG I didn't think I'd ever see. That's the world's oddest pairing. Well, whatever. I'll take you there, so make sure you fill me in. It's tough not to be curious about how they knew someone like you. How come everybody sees me that way? They both set off following that. Mao had come to learn about things far beyond her understanding for the first time in her life, but that's a story for another time. Every time you say that, it's a story you're not going to tell me. A story that leads toward the future. One with countless encounters and partings intertwined. Time is precious, precisely because it only moves forward. A fact everyone comes to realize at some point in their lives. That's how that ends. Federico won. That night, a certain phone call takes place. Yeah, I want to know what led to this. The recipient of that call is Mishima, or Hebinata Maharu. The caller, Scale Jones. Oh, this is the call that happened that night. Exceptional at spinning words. Ah, you silver-tongued bastard. He makes use of his ability to its finest and convinces Maharu. Nothing will come from your love of Rinka, no matter how strong it may be. Telling her how you feel will only damage your relationship. Rinka's regret doesn't involve you. You'll never be more than just friends with her. There is one way to make her yours, though. Oh, a death pact? Was that the idea? Eliminate her. Take control of her fate. That's the same as making her yours. Maharu would brush it off as nonsense under normal circumstances. Come on, Maharu. You're smart enough to not fall for this. That was the worst night for him to call, though. She had just unveiled her secret to Rinka. A secret she felt terrible for keeping in the first place. But that wasn't all. There was something else she had kept secret. So it keeps her from having to face that. Her lack of courage to reveal it was eating away at her. Be honest with yourself. That single line from Scale became something of a drug to Maharu. Her decision to ignore Rinka's call is a crucial one. One that causes a fork within fate itself. Yep. Now I get it. I just wanted to have Rinka all to myself. Even if it means killing her. Well, that wasn't the right call. This is the Another Story. I can't tell if that's another grammatical error or not. This is the another story. Let's see what the achievement says. This is another story. Okay, so it was a typo. Damn it, game. Well, this is interesting because most of what we're missing seems to reside down our one last path. Let's go ahead and wrap things up here. And let's just make the next video the true ending, because I think it's all we have left to do. And no matter how long it is, we're just going to muscle through it. So that'll be it for now. Make sure you tune in for the grand finale, where hopefully we will get our final answers. We will find out what the diary has to say, finally. And what truer ending could there be beyond the true ending we already have? Do we save everyone's lives and get to keep our memories? Does something else happen? What craziness is in store for us? Find out next time on Fatal 12. And I'll see you then.